We weren't too shabby yesterday, picking up a good haul of points in just the 2 games at the end of the transfer window. If we can continue that in today's episode, we might sneak a step closer towards the top half of the table, and of course extra prize money for next year. Tottenham to start, which is obviously going to be difficult, but Southampton and Newcastle after that. 2 certainly winnable games. Southampton are below us on 14 points, but lowest in 14th place, but a level on points with us on 27. And Newcastle actually aren't having as good a season as you would expect them to. They are rock bottom of the table. 2 wins from 25 games. They've scored just 9 goals in those 25 games. If we don't win that game... If we don't win that game. Right, Tottenham away to start us off. This should be a pretty straightforward month, I hope. One thing of note, actually, I had a scout report come back in the meantime. I've had a 17-year-old winger valued at £5.5 million as I signed him. He's 67 rated, 75 to 96 potential, just 17 years of age. Really decent technicals to start off with, at least with ball control, dribbling, curve, etc. Only one issue, you can see that there, just above his preferred foot. He's 5'3". Joel Morris, you are a tiny little man, and I'm not sure 5'3" is really going to be good enough at any point in any save ever. I'm purely just intrigued at the minute to see what kind of players come out of the scouting that we're doing in this save, and we can take that experience to the RTG series, which we'll do a little bit later on in the year. But we'll start now with the game away from home against Spurs. We've beaten them in the past. We've been battered by them in the past. We've narrowly lost to them in the past. I don't know what's going to happen on this occasion, but hopefully we can at least be competitive. Tariq Hines, Diego Llorente, Jan Vertonghen and Harvey White at the back for Tottenham. Zaha, Eriksson and Son sat behind Harry Kane. That's not as strong as it could be. Hines and White and Llorente are not recognised top quality players. Tottenham are going to be weaker at the back. Can we take advantage of that? They still have Hugo Lloris between the sticks, so not going to be that easy, but the opportunity is there. Cross there to Hines. Zaha's making the run down the line, and it's a good run. Can Malacia get there? I mean, he can, but Zaha still emerges with the ball and then runs straight into Malacia, trying to be a little bit too fancy there. The only thing that does concern me about this Tottenham team is the fact that I might not be able to breach the pairing of Ndombele and Moussa Sissoko to attack this poorer backline. Oh, and Augustin has bullied the defender, Diego Llorente there, but can't get the shot in before Hugo Lloris arrives at his feet to pick the ball up. I really thought we were in there, and very nearly were. If we can get past the 2 solid holding midfielders, that extra physicality is going to be in their favour, then, although Jared Bowen is holding off on Ndombele there and actually at least wins the foul. Shackleton, Adama, he's done the defender. Adama Traore, ooh. Got to keep that down, mate. Got to keep that down. Nice attempt, but it's rising all the way into the stand. Hands to Zaha again. Worried about Wilson. Dribbling. How's his crossing? Really decent. Engels come for it nicely. Oh, I am not sure about that headed pass. If it was him that, or the defender that won that, then fair enough. But that's inexplicable. You can see where I'm aiming that header, and as it arrives to him, he's headed it that way. Yesterday we had some really poor luck with an under-hit pass. That is completely inexplicable. I've aimed that left, and Jared Bowen has headed it over there to Harry Kane, who's then buried it into the back of the net. I'm not sure what to say about that. Bowen into Shackleton. Forward there to Augustin. Adama's wanting to get in behind, but twisting and turning, just trying to find someone in a decent amount of space. Tried to flick that round the corner and it didn't quite work, but Malacia's picked up the ball. Angolan's there, and Shackleton is in some space now. Just need to find the right pass at the right time. Bowen is available, and he's spun well. Jared Bowen in the box. Jared Bowen for 1-1. Jared Bowen for 1-1. Mentioned in yesterday's episode, was contemplating selling him in the summer because he's moved to West Ham in real life. I don't think that's going to be happening. He's far too instrumental for us, and he's actually having a very good run of form right now. Was very close to scoring a goal yesterday with one off the post, but he's put his foot right through that. We're level not long after going behind, and we deserve that. Adama, heavy touch. Shackleton across here to Nangolan and quickly forward to Bowen. I see Adama making the move on the right-hand side, and it's him I'll play in here. Oh, but the touch is taking it straight to the defender. It's poor from Adama. I needed him to be better there. Now I'm worried about Zaha getting in behind me on this right-hand side of their attack. Should be more worried about Kane and Eriksen playing multiple 1-2s. Oh, nicely done by Christian Eriksen. Good save by Engel. And Sissoko's lucky that it falls straight back to him. That ball from Eriksen was beautiful. Just the little touch around the corner. Just here to send it in front of the defender. That was exquisite. Good save by Engel, but couldn't have been more unlucky for it to fall straight to Moussa Sissoko again, who, to be fair, nearly missed it. Cracking off the inside the post quite strongly. But into the back of the net it goes. We will be behind at half-time. Zaha. Nice ball around the corner to Christian Eriksen. He's got a 5-star weak foot, so he could cross on either side. He's cut it back nicely to Wilf, who finds Ndombele, trying to stop him from getting it to Harry Kane. Which we've done well. Eriksen. Oh, not able to get there. He's got a number of options here on Ndombele. Good tackle by Ben White. And it'll be a corner to Tottenham 15 minutes into the second half. I'm going to make a change. I'm going to make a couple of changes, actually. I'm going to bring Callum Wilson on there. And we're also going to bring Calvin Phillips on in this role here. And drop Augustin because he's got better dribbling and passing, so he'll be better in that cam role. Actually, what I could do is move Augustin out wide and put Tyler Roberts into that central role. I didn't like playing the 4-4-2. I just don't get on well with formations that have two out-and-out strikers. So I'm going to play a formation that only has one man up top, but I've got two bona fide strikers on the field of play. So hopefully that will still give us the opportunity to equalise in this game. Not that we should be behind, because that first goal was utter BS. So it should only be 1-1. But it is what it is. You just have to go with the flow sometimes. And the flow has been against us in this one. Wilson has options, but none of them really in a good position to score a goal. Callum Wilson get a good turn in here, though. Didn't get a good turn to then find the pass, annoyingly. Time is running out. Less than 25 minutes to go now. Heung-min Son brings that down. Cross to come in, maybe. Lovely pass into the channel for Sissoko. Back out to Son. He can cross on either foot too. Good block by Porro. Let's see what's going to happen from the corner. Eriksen, he won't go short. It's just a decoy run. It's a decent ball in. There's so many good people in there. Guerrero's shot goes wide. So many tall physical presences in the midfield and in the middle of the box there that a regular corner could... How have you misplaced that pass? You literally can play that around the man. Your passing isn't that bad, Malacia. That's infuriating. And of course, they'll probably score from this now, just to rub salt into the wound. Harry Kane with a 1-2 with Ndombele. Around the corner looking for Eriksen. Keepers come and Smothers well. Someone made a good point in the comment section of the last episode, saying that Engel, because of that rushes out of goal, he's going to be like a sweeper keeper. He's going to be more of a Manuel Neuer than he is anyone else, really. He's going to really emulate a Neuer or a Lloris type, considering we're playing against Tottenham here. That sort of goalkeeper. But whether that will cost us more goals than it saves us, we'll wait and see. But certainly he did well enough there to come out and get to that and smother it. Only 8 minutes to go now, and I have a horrible feeling we are going to be losing this game. But we've shown enough in this one. Enough heart, enough fight, enough quality to show that we could very well win the remaining 2 games of the episode. And if I could play Wilson in onside here, we could be in to equalise, but Hugo Lloris makes a top save. That's the chance. You always get one more chance, and that chance has come and now gone for us. Callum Wilson not able to find the corner, kicks it straight at the Frenchman, and we will lose to Tottenham Hotspur. Through to Wilson, out his feet, through to Augustin. batters the defender out of the way, but fouls him in the process. It's going to be a 2-1 loss away from home in North London. An undeserved 2-1 loss. I still cannot explain to you the way that first goal came about. Okay, way that first goal came about. You saw where I was aiming the header, that way. And then the pass indicator disappeared, and then it played it perfectly weighted, supposedly, to the man over there. That's inexplicable. That's not what I did with the controller. You saw what I did with the controller. Okay, mate. Sometimes it feels a little bit scripted, like you're supposed to lose a game. Never mind. I did have the opportunity to equalise Callum Wilson, and I missed it, so that has to be my fault. The blame is mine for us not getting a draw there. I had the chance, and I still missed it. It should have been for the win. As it happens, it was for the draw. I missed it either way, but this isn't permanent. We will certainly bounce back, especially, I like to think, in the final 2 games of the episode. 2 sides that are below us in the table, which Southampton might now be above us. No, they're not. 2 sides that are below us in the table. We certainly should be winning these. Southampton's lineup: Angus Gunn in goal. They're going with a 4-4-2. Cedric, Eric Ruiz, Vestergaard and Bertrand. Ward-Prowse, who will be joining us next season. Fernandez, Christie and Redmond, with Andres Martin and Carrillo alongside him. 1 big striker, 1 small striker. It's very Emil Heskey, Michael Owen-ish. Or Peter Crouch, Jermaine Defoe-esque as well. Early 2000s, late 90s style of play. Will it work in 2020? Oh, actually, we're probably, 2022 right now in this save. Yep, 19th of February 2022. Will the old school tactic work in the modern day? Martin. Back there to Fernandez. Lovely ball over the top. Well, actually, no, not a lovely ball over the top. Terrible touch by Adama, but thankfully the defender committed himself and it was terrible. Nowhere near it. Oh, trying to get that to Augustin. Couldn't. Looking for Jared Bowen, though, who's in behind now. Miller's played Min, and Jared Bowen is in a great vein of goal-scoring form. That's Leeds 1, Southampton 0, and that's a hell of a start to this fixture. Milner with the assist. Slightly rotated for this one. Milner's in. Calvin Phillips is in. Riedewald and Fredericks also starting. But it's the man that's been in there almost every single game this season, Jared Bowen, that smacks that home. And that is one of his best finishes of his entire time in a Leeds shirt. Sweet strike into the top corner. More of that, please. James Ward-Prowse being used on the right-hand side of midfield for Southampton, which just feels like a waste of his talent, really. He's not got the physical stats, the pace, the acceleration to be able to effectively play in that role, unless he just tuck him narrow. But if you're going to tuck him narrow, you might as well start him centrally, surely. Adama's on the run. He switched wings for some reason, but I don't mind that. Tyler Roberts is through the middle for some reason as well. Everybody's all over the place positionally. Adama with a delivery. Oh, picks up Milner beautifully. Can we score a good second? No, he sliced the shot and it's gone wide. If the touch had been tighter and he wasn't stretching for it, he might have had a better opportunity. Still 1-0. Christie. Oh, it's a lovely ball over the top, and Redmond is in behind Fredericks here. And a free kick's been given to Southampton, it seems, there. I'm not sure about that. Now, this would be a good example of the sort of delivery we can expect all for James Ward-Prowse next season, and that was really well worked. Good save by Engel. Could he maybe have caught that? I'm not sure. Not taking any risk. Carrillo is the man they were looking for. Bounced down, was on its way to get further up, so maybe tipping it over the bar was the best decision. Ward-Prowse to take the corner. And again, it's a very good delivery, but Engel's come and claims well. I've been impressed with James Ward-Prowse's passing so far. It's certainly what we're missing from a creative point of view. But they're utilising him as a right midfielder, so I'm not sure they're actually getting the best out of him. Hopefully we can do that next season. Ryan Bertrand used to be rapid. He's not as fast as Adama Traore, though. And into the middle. Oh, Roberts is not going to squeeze in. It is. Jared Bowen was following it in, but Tyler Roberts buries it, and love the celebration too. Leeds 2, Southampton 0. They have a couple of good chances at the other end, but now they're behind. Oh, not the cleanest of contacts. Pretty sure it kind of bounced around between him and Cedric. We'll see here. Oh, the keeper's going to be in the way, is he? No. Oh, it looks like Cedric almost knocked it onto Tyler Roberts' foot. Bowen could have, well, I'd like to think, poked it home if it was trickling wide, but it did go in. Roberts will take the goal, will be 2-0 up, and 3 points are on their way. There to Fernandez. There's Carrillo again. Andres Martin. Fernandez, Ward-Prowse. This is good play from them. And he's dropped the shoulder on Tyler Roberts, showing a rather uncharacteristic burst of pace there, James Ward-Prowse. Cedric to Ward-Prowse again. Cedric, well, he's gone for the delivery, and Carrillo should get to this. Fredericks, thankfully, has gotten that away. Kind of glad I'm playing the taller Fredericks over the shorter Porro, considering the size of Carrillo. I made that decision, obviously, before knowing what their starting lineup was going to be, but I needed the taller man there to stop Carrillo getting another effort on goal. And similarly, again, Fredericks there in the middle to get rid of the ball from a taller opposition player. Ward-Prowse is going to lay that back. Southampton have been okay in this game, but they have seemingly relied a lot on balls through the air to Carrillo. Working the ball about on the floor hasn't really worked that well for them thus far. Watch them now score here and prove me wrong. No, Nathan Redmond overruns it. Phillips to Bowen. You know what's coming. Catch me if you can. Of course you can't. Damatoro is running out of stamina, but Bosch! 3-0. Game over. Time very much. All 3 points coming our way. Christie out to Bertrand. Down the line nicely into Redmond. Carrillo back to Christie again. Here's Redmond. Cross could come in. Laid back to Bertrand. Redmond into the middle again. Can we win that header? No. It's flicked on well. Ward-Prowse. Really good ball into the middle, but cleared away. Southampton could still get one here. Cedric. Good block by Tyler Roberts. It was the two of them that, quote-unquote, linked up for our second goal. Will they be linking up an opportunity that leads to Southampton's first? Yalchin has come on for... Oh, Redmond's destroyed me there. For Carrillo, so they're moving away from the taller physical man. Redmond draws a good save out of Engel. That might just have been sneaking wide, but no chances taken by the goalkeeper, who's played very well. I think Engel might have... Oh, Vestergaard got on that, and there was almost a handball in there too. Engel saved with his feet this time. I think we have our new starting goalkeeper. Gazaniga can be moved on, and we've got another youngster, obviously, in James, that we signed earlier on in the season as a youngster in goal to be back up, so we can sell Gazaniga next season, and that'll raise some extra funds for new players elsewhere on the field as well. Turns out picking up that youngster James could be a very good piece of business. Tyler Roberts looking for another. That's hit Augustin. Oh, can you imagine if that flew tops? Shackleton across to Phillips. To Malacia. Down the line there to Tyler Roberts. Around the corner. We could make this a very, very impressive scoreline if Tyler Roberts can bury this, which he can't. We've dominated this game. We thoroughly deserved the 3 points. And I'm really pleased with the way the side has reacted in the past couple of episodes to what was a really poor run. We were running the risk of replicating last season's 13 games without a win. I think it got as high as 8 or 9 before we were able to pick up victory. And then we've actually been on a really good run recently. So I'm very, very pleased with the turnaround in the team. And hopefully we can back this win up with 3 points against Newcastle coming up next. They are bottom of the table, or at least they were, and they won't be too far off it, even if they've won 2 games in a row, which I highly doubt. Where are they here? They haven't played on this particular Saturday, but next Saturday they're definitely playing, and they're playing me. We're expecting a more competitive match out there. Give them full credit, they had some good chances. I'm not going to be a dick about it. You won. Do you think that Southampton played well? They did, but not as well as us. We were very clinical in front of goal, which is unlike me, but delighted with it. And a resounding performance. We could have won by more. Time to focus on the next match. Let's take this victory, move on to the game against Newcastle, pick up another victory. Carl Darlow in goal for Newcastle. 5 at the back. Yedlin, Cher, Kempf, Savic, Ritchie. Reece Nelson, Key, Elias and Aarons all sat behind Muto. They are the worst defensive side in the league, with 62 goals conceded so far this season. That's not very good. Watch me not score against them. Not sure who their top goal scorer is. They'd only scored 9 before the beginning of today's episode. Bowen across here to Jamie Shackleton. Jack Clark is looking to get in behind Jack Ritchie. Callum Wilson's getting a start in this game too. I'm going to try and pull this back to the edge of the box. It's Bowen again. It's Fabian Cher with the block. And it's a corner. Nangolan to deliver. That's not bad, you know. Ben White could win this header, which he does. But that header was woeful and not worth waiting for. Nelson nods that forward. Knocks that forward to Muto. Keys driving forward from midfield. They're Might be playing a defensive formation, Newcastle, but they're certainly getting players forward, and Nelson's in behind here. Malacia tried to stick with him. Fredericks wins that header, gets his starting spot back again after a good performance in the last game. And Rolando Aarons with a poor effort that's gobbled up by Engel. They've not been too bad so far, Newcastle, I have to be honest. I did expect them to be fairly open defensively, but I didn't know what to expect of them offensively. Normally when a side isn't playing that well and doesn't score many goals against other AI teams, whenever they play against you, the user, they always tend to play really good attacking football and are actually quite dangerous in front of goal. And so far, that seems to be the case. They've hit the woodwork there, and Rolando Aarons couldn't react in time to turn that home. Desperately unlucky not to have a 1-0 lead here, Newcastle United. That was a gorgeous little flip to set the man through in the first place. Nelson could get that round the corner again or try and work it himself. Good ball to the back post, and Rolando Aarons' header is poor and into the side netting. Steve Bruce's team are playing well here, but it's still 0-0. Nice ball by Ritchie. Oh, sorry, nice ball to Ritchie. Nice ball by Ritchie. Rolando Aarons has options here. Brilliant tackle by Ben White. Superbly done. Newcastle have been so threatening in this game. They just cannot find the right opportunity to score them a goal. I'm going to look for Callum Wilson through this gap here, and he might get to that, but Kempf does well. I told you we'd struggle to score against a side that conceded an average of almost 3 a game. Bowen across to Shackleton. I look for Callum Wilson. The ball just won't reach him in time. I'm going to take Wilson off. He's really not performed this season. Augustin has been a far better striker. Jack Clark's been okay, but I mean, nobody's really been performing superbly well for me so far in this game. Just struggling to break down their 5 at the back. They've been very good going forward. Their 4 in midfield certainly feel like they have the free range and the license to push forward when given the opportunity to. But I haven't been able to catch them on the counter because the back 5 have been rock solid going the other way. Shackleton in there to Jared Bowen. He's a bit of space, so we'll look to bend it. It was headed towards the back post, but Darlow saves it well. Half an hour to go. Still 0-0 at St James's Park. Muto. He's gone for the big switch. And Yedlin is out there. Malacia trying to track back. We're going to have to use Tyler Roberts because he's closer. Neither are quick enough to be able to catch DeAndre Yedlin here. Good ball in. Fredericks has to head behind. What's a goal kick? I mean, I'll take it. I'm not sure how Muto's headed it that far wide, to be fair, unless he headed it against, or the defender headed it against him, perhaps. Shackleton forward to Jean-Kevin Augustin. He's shaken off one man, dinks it out to Jack Clark, and we're in behind. I feel like Augustin's done more there in that first action than Callum Wilson did all game long. We'll tuck that back. And Radon Angolan, just couldn't get the touch right. 20 minutes to go. We're pushing here. We're trying to find a way through their back line, but they're set up so defensively. It's really, really difficult to find the right amount of space in the right area to get a good opportunity. Jack Clark trying to spin the man, but the defender does well. I shall continue to try, and I'll make another couple of changes to try and get through. Traore and Kent time, I think. Isaac Hayden inside there to Reece Nelson. Over the top to DeAndre Yedlin. Brought down well. Still the ball hasn't... Come on, how can you outmuscle them but then not pick up the ball? Still the ball hasn't gone out of play since I made those changes. Almost, well, definitely more than 10 in-game minutes ago. Newcastle are going to have the corner now, but it's far too late. For me, at least. If they score from this, they've won it. And we're not going to have the chance to counter with those fresh legs. Oh, well held Stefan Engel. Just punt it clear and that'll be the game. A 0-0 draw away from home against Newcastle. Ordinarily, you'd say that's a decent result, but the way that they have had, or the season that they're having, that's frustrating. They had a lot of the ball as well, but 5 at the back and 4 in midfield. They had a lot of possession opportunity, really. I'm disappointed with that. The defence managed to hold us off. I don't know whether fatigue is to blame. We just have to improve our offence. I'm frustrated at that. Obviously, choosing Callum Wilson to start up top in that game wasn't the right idea. 2 strong defences, I'll say. It's a clean sheet, though. Our defence deserves praise, literally. It's almost like it hears me and picks a question accordingly. A clean sheet is pleasing. In fact, 2 clean sheets in a row is pleasing. Was it 2 clean sheets in a row? It was, wasn't it? 3-0 and then a 0-0. Still frustrated with that defeat to Spurs, but it is what it is. We are 12th as we end the episode. 11 points clear. Sorry, no. 14 points clear of Bournemouth in the relegation zone. Newcastle have brought themselves up to 19th. And to be fair, they have won a game in today's episode as well. As well as adding a point to their tally from the game against me. We're not too far away from the top half. Only 6 points with 10 games to go. It's not out of the question that we couldn't get into that top half of the table. And Kulu's starting to ask to play more often. I have given Gyro Riedewald a couple of games. And to be fair, he's been pretty solid. And Kulu will probably be factored back into the starting lineup for the game against Watford. We'll wait to see. But for now, I'm relatively happy with today's performances. Frustrated to lose to Tottenham, especially with the nature of their first goal. Frustrated to not win against Newcastle, but they were very defensive. And for them, their game plan worked. They earned themselves a point. And when you're battling relegation, every point counts. We know that from our own trials and tribulations last season. So happy enough with 4 points today. And hopefully we can get at least that again tomorrow. I'll see you then.